All right, guys, it's 10:30. So look around the screen and see who all is missing for you. I had set the, when I created this particular meeting, on the settings, I said to record automatically. I realize now that might be not the wisest idea, because we're going to have 4 minutes of blank space there when you log on to YouTube if you need to see this for anything. I'm going to call on a couple of you. I don't know where everyone is. Odd. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 25. Well, we have close to everyone. If someone sees someone not here, I've already had one recognized. Please send me a chat. Did your English Zoom hold over? Is that what it is? Gotcha. Well, you can send that in the chat. We need to go ahead and begin. As far as the divinity goes, Guy, I don't know. You'll have to contact Coach Whitten. Send me an email in private if that's not working out, by the way, so that I can tell you what you need on your study flash drive for next fall. All right, Guy. All right. Well, welcome. Good morning, GP. How are we? You had an assignment. So how did that assignment go? Frank, I am unmuting you. Tell us how your assignment went.
I thought it went good. It was kind of confusing on how long to make it, but I think I made mine about a minute.
Okay. So you think you have a pretty good hook?
I think it's okay.
All right. How are you going to know how many words to create for this?
I just I did it and whatever I kind of thought it should be, and then I spoke it out like I would on a stage to see how long it would be in speech.
Okay. All right. So here's the first piece of information for you today as a class. I'm going to go ahead and unmute you. Thank you, Frank. I appreciate your participation. Here's the first piece of information you need. Here's what you're going to have to do by Monday. By Monday. Got it? You need to find anything. I don't care what it is you read. Make it something you're interested in, a book you're already reading, some particular publication you normally read daily, anything. Doesn't matter what it is you're reading. What matters is that you get somewhere private and you have a stopwatch. And I need you to read 3 times for 8 minutes. 3 times for 8 minutes. Now, in the past, okay, let me modify this. Hang on. Cancel that. I need you to read 3 times for 2 minutes. 3 times for 2 minutes. Take the average of those 3 times and you'll know at what rate you're reading per minute. All right? I'll ask you Monday what you read and what your rate per minute is. That way you'll know how many, no, not today, Monday, a week from today. Yes, out loud. I need you to actually read out loud. You're still going to be making the presentation. It may be a presentation on Zoom that you're making. But either way, we're going to make the presentation and record the presentation. You will need to know how many words you're going to need. You'll need that by Monday. Monday is also when you're Next major assignment is due. And how to say this? Well, I guess I'll just put it out there. Monday, you're going to need essentially a rough draft outline, but it's more than that. All right. And I'll get into the details of the assignment. And by that Friday, you need an actual rough draft. So you're going to go in 5 days from an outline to a rough draft. Granted, many of you haven't even started your PowerPoint, and that's okay. Taylor, that will be on your own time, I'm sure. I don't know to what that is referring. If you want to send me a little bit more. Okay, so I'm recording the video. I will put the video on YouTube. I will label it today, and it'll be available. If you did not know, there is an announcement on your Canvas that shows you the link to the social studies YouTube account, and so you can watch the videos there. Your assignment for today. Who had a problem with a hook? Who had a problem with a hook? Okay, who's going to be the first to admit they had a problem with the hook? All right. Okay. I don't want this to become about the hook. So I'm going to move on quickly from it. But in the past, it has been music. In the past, it has been, as a matter of fact, we're gonna watch a few little videos today. We need to now transition to our next assignment. If you are truly locked up, absolutely locked up on what you can use for a hook, please send me a message on Canvas. Send me an email, and I'll get back to you, and I'll try to give you some ideas that I think would help you. But don't let that bog you down, because we need to transition now. Hopefully, you know how you're going to transition into your actual argument. This is a mini TED Talk. We're going to look at the syllabus again in just a moment. This is a mini TED Talk. It's around, typically people go around 7 minutes or so, but you cannot go over 8 minutes. You know that every argument must be based on claims. Every argument must be based on claims. If you have less than 2 to 3 claims, it'll be very difficult to make an argument. You can't make an argument with one claim. That's a conclusion. And if you try over 4 or 5, I don't know how you're going to squeeze it all in 8 minutes. Now, we've had some really rapid talkers in the past who have squeezed in a lot of words in the amount of time. That's why we need to know how many words you're going to have, so that you know how much information you can squeeze into your 8 minutes. So your next assignment, the rough draft that I alluded to earlier, is due on Monday. Essentially, I need you to come up with 3 to 5, 3-5, 3 TO5, 3 to 5 claims that you're going to rest your argument upon. They can be counter arguments, where you include another perspective, but you deconstruct it and it actually becomes a claim for your own argument. Remember, this is not a paper 2. You are not having to thoroughly vet multiple perspectives. You are looking at one line of reasoning, and you're presenting that line of reasoning. You are presenting a formal academic argument that you have the best solution to answer the question that you're addressing. You must come up with your 3 to 5 conclusions by Monday. What you will support them with, literally what research is going to be attached to them and how you're going to approach it, and what your conclusion is going to be. All right. Hopefully you can see how easily it's going to be to transition from the assignment that was due today and the one that is due 1 week from today into a rough draft due that Friday. So I believe that's Good Friday, so we may have to make it due on Thursday instead. So that's the assignment. What I want to do with you now is actually look at the syllabus. Jordan, I'm about to unmute your, hey, Jacob, what question you have, big man? I'm trying to unmute you. It's not working. All right.
I had to give you permission to unmute me.
Gotcha. What question you have?
I don't really have any questions. I just struggled with my hook for a bit because I just couldn't really think of anything to put.
Gotcha.
And at the same time, we kind of sort of coordinated with our group at the start, so we wouldn't like choose the same thing as some of the other members.
Gotcha.
But I eventually got it. So
okay. I had saw that you had the hand raised. I did not know that was an option. I literally just learned something. Thank you for that. Is it just a little button that's at the bottom of your screen where you raise your hand?
Oh yeah, I accidentally did that before you came on the call. But I'm doing it on my phone, and it's where those three little dots are on the bottom right.
Okay. Tell me and the rest of the class where it is again so that we can know.
And on my phone, there's like a little more option, and you can click like raise hand. It's just an option on your phone. I don't know if it's going to be on your desktops or not.
Okay. While you're live, can you see the syllabus on screen?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to mute you back.
Good.
All right, guys. As you can see, you should be seeing right now, the syllabus. To remind you, okay, that's component 2. We need to get to component 3. You do have the presentation that you have to make, and you have a reflective paper. Skipping straight to the presentation. In the formal presentation, hopefully you can see this. If you need to take a screenshot, feel free to do so. It is available on the syllabus, which is on your files on Canvas. So hopefully you have looked at that before and you know how to open that. But as you can see, in the formal presentation, candidates will be assessed on their ability to structure and communicate a coherent argument, research and identify with different perspectives, local and global. You will have to, in your presentation, connect your local issue to a global issue in some capacity. Typically, we do that in the framing of the issue, all right? In the initial introduction. This is where you sell how big a crisis that this particular problem is. A lot of people start global with all the global manifestations of a problem and then say it's even a problem in the US with da-da-da, and they'll go local. Other people start with the local problem and say, and this is manifested across the world, and show the world examples of it. But the goal is to solve the local problem. And in your group, there should only be one person who is focused on the global issue, if that. You may not even assign that to someone. Develop a line of reasoning based on supporting evidence. That is what your next assignment is about. Presenting convincing and well-supported conclusions which respond to the overall question. Your conclusion must answer the question. The last one you see there is up to you. Present complex global concept perspectives and arguments in a creative and effective manner. Using multimedia. Everyone will be using multimedia because you're going to be doing a PowerPoint that accompanies it. The formal presentation should be engaging to a non-specialist audience, blah, blah, blah. You can see that. That's what we're working towards. So I'm going to stop the share for a moment. I'm going to remind you to send me an email about your hook if you're struggling and need some assistance from me on that. I'm going to unmute Eli. Well, I had your name right there, Eli. Hang on. There we go. Eli, are you using a computer or phone right now?
Computer.
Okay. Did you see the raise your hand option that he was referring to?
I see it now, yeah.
Okay, so it is available. So I can utilize that in class. And it's down at the bottom, you said?
It depends where your chat is, I think. Or not where your chat, but like, I don't know.
Okay. Guys, I only right now have 3 people absent. I need you to take this opportunity to look at the names and scroll from screen to screen.
Yeah, I see it.
Luke says it's in the participants menu.
Yeah, I see it.
Okay. I had a question, or you see the question that was asked. It says, when it says perspective, does that essentially mean solution? Well, you could actually view or look at a couple of perspectives in your framing. You're going to be presenting one perspective in a solution. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
what I was asking.
Gotcha. All right, let's go ahead and remute. Well, no, Eli, I'm gonna keep you unmuted for a moment because I'm about to share the screen again, except this time it's gonna be for video. Now, I know that you can probably see the Finder right now that's over the syllabus, correct?
Yes.
Okay. This is a hard drive menu I have, which shows class in the past. I tried to go a couple years back so that I wouldn't embarrass the people who are immediately above you in school. When I hit the space button.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Michael Bogus, and today I have come to you so that we can discuss how to stop a major problem that the entire world faces on a day-to-day basis.
Yes.
Before I get into it.
So everyone, what we're going to do now is I'm going to walk you through a couple of these presentations and show you some clips from them. Now is when you can perk up because I'm about to shut up and you can kind of see some of these hooks in action that have worked in the past.
Good afternoon. My name is Deidre Bean. Good morning. My name is...
Hang on.
Hello, everyone. My name is Bailey Kane, and I'm a student at Corinth High School. Today, I'll be presenting how poverty is linked to obesity and how fresh food can become more accessible to those below the poverty line. First, I'd like to show you a comparison between 5 pounds of fat and 5 pounds of muscle. The difference is quite astounding. The myth that muscle weighs more than fat is just a myth, because a pound is a pound. However, fat takes up more space because muscle is much more lean. The difference between having one or the other depends on the food you consume and the amount of exercise you do daily. You can see by this photo that even though all of these women weigh 154 pounds, some are slightly overweight while others look leaner. These differences are because of variations in heights, body types, and etc. Based on your height and weight, a body mass index calculator can determine whether you are underweight, normal, overweight, or obese. Unfortunately, some people do not have the privilege to choose between the muscle and the fat, and here's why. Obesity is a worldwide problem that affects health, lifestyle, and overall standard of living. Approximately 30% of the world's population, or 2.1 billion people, are overweight or obese, according to the Institute of Health Metrics and Evaluation. Obesity can take years off someone's life expectancy, around 3 years for moderate obesity and up to 14 years for those extremely obese. Obesity can cause cancer, heart disease, strokes, diabetes, and kidney and liver diseases, as stated by the National Institutes of Health. However, obesity affects more than just your physique. It can also lower your overall quality of life due to psychological issues such as depression, lack of confidence, distorted body image, eating disorders, low self-esteem, etc., according to Psych Central study on the effects obesity has on mental health. Therefore, the amounts of people who are obese pose higher risk for diseases and risk shorter lifespan, but also suffer from mental disorders.
Hopefully you can hear
However,
me here.
some people cannot afford to eat healthy, so are they?
As you can see, she's working through an argument. Now, you can tell the nervousness in her voice, right? But she did really, really, really well. They're looking for you to attempt a professional presentation, but they understand that you're not a professional presenter. Now, she did an absolutely great job. And you can see that she goes, I'm slowly fast forwarding here. You can see that she goes through her claims. She puts a particular graphic up, and she does some type of image when she does comparisons, when she is talking about her actual claims. You can see here a graph that she uses in support. She literally just clicks off her claims and then introduces her conclusion at the end. It worked for her. She did really well on the presentation. As you can see, her hook was rather minor, right? It was the comparison of the fat. Now, that's not exactly what I mean by interactive presentation, but it is something. So let's move on to another one. Let me get one that actually had a really active interaction.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is...
That was one that was a redo. Let's see this one.
Good evening. My name is Hannah Cooley, and tonight I will be talking about a problem that is becoming more and more prevalent in today's society. This issue is the large number of suicides within the transgender community. Many of us don't like change. Most of us don't like what or who is different from us. When someone is different, too many of us choose to ridicule or exploit his or her uniqueness. We reject what we don't understand, and this can cause a lot more damage than we like to think about. This damage can lead to someone turning to suicide. According to Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, in 2013, there was a suicide every 13 minutes. People commit suicide for a range of reasons, all of which stem from the feeling of loneliness.
She did a really good job. She wound up bringing in some really personal accounts.
The parents can experience denial and rejection.
And that was effective.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Hi, my name is Carter Crozier.
We had a student who actually dressed cross, it's, how do you say it? God forgive me. Dressed as opposite gender to make his point on
Wouldn't you all like a nice meaty hamburger from your favorite restaurant for lunch today? Or what about a nice healthy green salad? The choice is all yours. Well, did you know that many children throughout America...
Now, if I'm not mistaken, she actually had a Big Mac on a table in front of her.
Hello and good evening. I am William Davis, and today I'll be speaking about the impact of dead zones in the ocean and how this global problem can be solved. In today's world, humans have a profound impact on the world around us. The processes by which we build our cities, grow our food, clean our water, and live and interact in the world around us leaves a footprint in the earth.
So see, he frames his issue really, really well at the beginning.
Humans have tread. With a show of hands, how many of you would say that there is more of a negative environmental impact than a positive one?
And that was his attempt to interact with the audience, but he doesn't finish there. He actually has an illustration where he brought in a container of pond water. Now, I get that these are just some brief snippets, okay? If you would like, and I can get the permission from the individuals involved or from someone at the school, then I will upload some to the Social Studies YouTube account. You do have those snippets now that will be uploaded in this particular class presentation on YouTube. You also, by the way, have, and let me show you this, where it's at on Canvas. On Canvas, on Canvas under your your class files. Under your class files, when you go over and click files, you'll be able to see, wait, hang on just a moment. Eli, you're just the one name that popped up when I created my little box there. I'm not picking on you. It's just you happen to be there. Do you see the Canvas files on screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to go ahead and mute you back. That way I won't have to pick on you again. As you can see here, this is all your files, and you've already seen some of these this year. I have given a paper 3 A marked example, A marked example, A marked example. There's no need to show you any less than that because I want you to see the variety of ways that you can get an A. And these are not videos because we do not have enough file space on Canvas to upload videos. These are the transcripts. Because remember, you will need an actual transcript that goes along with your video. You'll need a transcript, you'll need a PowerPoint, and you'll need, well, there you go, the video as well. We'll video it. Between these transcripts that are available, and there's 5 or 6 available on Canvas, between these transcripts and the little video snippets that you saw and the syllabus, hopefully you can put together your outline for Monday. Class schedule this week. Wednesday, I'm going to do a work check Wednesday. I'm going to do a, there we go, and there we go. Yeah, I'm going to do a work check Wednesday where I'll have you share your screen and see how, so you can update on how it's going, and I'll answer any questions. It'll be a short class. And maybe we can look at a video if you'd like to see that or two. And then on Friday, I will schedule a Zoom on Friday, but it is not a mandatory Zoom. Rather, the Zoom on Friday, I will be live and I'll be here to answer any question that you have. So if you have any questions by Friday when you're creating your outline, I'll be available to help. Now, I'm going to upload this class video to YouTube. It's going to be rough, but at least it's there in case you want to look back over it or you have any questions that you think I answered in class. Right now, let's utilize the little raised hand feature, shall we? If you have a question, raise your hand. Eli, yours is the first one I saw. So let's go ahead and what's your question, sir?
So for those of us who have probably missed it, can you give the 2 assignments in writing, like as an official assignment on Canvas?
Yeah, I'll do that for you.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir. Will, what's your question, sir?
Mine was the assignment based as well. I just wanted to know what they exactly were. Gotcha. So you already answered it.
Good deal. Guy, what's your question, sir?
Sorry. When are all the assignments due?
Okay, all the assignments. Now, the ones that the hook assignment was already due this morning. It should have been turned in. So get that turned in as quickly as possible if you haven't got that done. I don't want you obsessing about that. It's just a neat little cutesy thing to get the audience involved. It goes and it's interactive. And you guys will most likely be presenting online and we'll be recording it online. So you have the opportunity to do more things as a hook, because you can share a screen with the entire group when you do your hook. So opens that up. The other assignments will be due on Monday. However, I am doing a spot check on your progress on this Wednesday, day after tomorrow. I'll require you to, I'll call on you. I'll say, Will, share your screen. Jay, share your screen. Jordan, share your screen. And you'll have to share your screen, and the whole world will get to see what progress you're making or not. I will be turning in attendance for today. Or should I say non-attendance for today. Further questions? Taylor, what you got, sir?
You talked about the spot check on Wednesday. Is that for the rough draft of the outline and the 3 to 5 claims?
Well, it's a rough draft outline, and maybe I shouldn't use those terms together, and maybe you're calling me out on that. It's an outline. It's a thorough outline. Yes, it's on the claims. I'll be doing a spot check on your claims, and see how developed you are into that assignment.
Yes, sir.
All right. All right. Who else has a question? Saw another hand, but it went away. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and give you the follow-up here and end the class, but hang on. Okay, gotcha. So if I'm understanding correctly, I would definitely, on my end, I need to get the assignment on Canvas that is due on Monday and will be spot checked on Wednesday. I need to upload this video to YouTube. I need to effort getting permission from someone to upload some examples of the videos on our social studies YouTube channel. And on your end, you now know to look at your syllabus on the files. You now know that there are transcript examples on the files. You now know that the class will be uploaded on YouTube. You know the class schedule for this week. You know that Friday I'll be available and there will be a Zoom meeting scheduled, but it is not mandatory. It's for questions. Now, is there anything that I missed? Okay, at this time, if you want to go ahead and log off the meeting, you can. If you have a further question that you'd like to send me a private chat on, I will stay on until everyone has logged off. And yeah, I'll be here for questions. So feel free to go ahead and if you're done, if you have no further questions, have a great day. And remember, lower the curve and be safe out there. And yeah, so you're logging off one by one. Molly Jane, you just asked me a question. If you want to hang on, I'll address that with you in just a moment, since you asked. Yeah, Nate, hang on as well. I'll address it in a moment. All right, guys, we're down to just a very few people. There's just 5 or 6 still logged on, so I'm going to go ahead and address it. So if you guys want to unmute now, the ones that have questions left. And Molly, I believe I got Molly Jane. I got your question first, so go ahead and ask. You have a question about your hook. What's your question there?
Mine, I wasn't really asking the audience a question. I just didn't know if it was like if my hook wasn't interactive enough or if I should make it.
All right. There have been, but give me a rough idea of what it is.
I gave him like a scenario to imagine that kind of like compares.
That's interactive.
Okay.
That's interactive. All right.
All right, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Nate, what's your question, sir?
Okay, so for my hook, I'm talking about like ecosystems and biodiversity, and I was saying imagine a Jenga board, but would it be better if I just brought a physical Jenga board up there with me?
Yes. Most especially since you're going to be doing it in an empty room at home and you don't have to lug it anywhere.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, most likely you'll be doing it at home unless they suddenly allow us to go back to school, then we'll be doing it there. But yeah, that would be excellent, actually. That's a perfect example of it. Further questions? Frank, you got any questions, man? Opportunity for questions disappearing. Frank, got any questions? All right, guys, have a good one.